I felt disappointed in people lately. You know the cliche that says everyone's just doing the best they can? Well, I'm no longer so sure. I think we can do better, but it may cost us. This week marks 3 years since I published my first post on Substack. 2 years before that, I began writing this memoir that eventually found its way here. And I've called it Out of Line for Greater Well-Being. I wanted to know what would happen if I stopped living according to everyone else's lines and started living according to reality as I experienced it. And 5 years later now, I know the experiment has taught me something, many things, but the primary being that honesty and truth really can set us free. And it can lead to greater well-being, but it isn't free. Recently, I watched a neuropsychologist explain why the MAGA movement has become, for many, a kind of cult. One of the ideas he explored is this notion of the illusory truth effect. And this is the tendency for repeated claims and stories to become believable simply because they're familiar, whether they're true or not. And none of us are immune, apparently. One man joined the movement because he wanted to be closer to his father. Another woman because family friends convinced her prosperity belonged to Republicans. Another because her church taught her that faithfulness meant submitting to her husband and perhaps even giving up her vote. Different stories, but the same themes that so many humans long for: belonging, identity, safety, security. The video also described what psychologists call a manna personality, someone who promises safety, prosperity, belonging, even salvation. And as I listened, I realized this isn't just MAGA, it's Christianity, it's other religions, it can be family, it's any and every system that asks us to protect a story instead of reality itself. Most of us think we're independent thinkers. But the moment reality threatens our tribe, our identity, our security, we discover how much of our freedom is dependent on our belonging. And that's why families, religions, and even political movements can become as difficult to leave as cults. Not because people are stupid, but because truth has consequences. Reality has consequences. And the opposite, or one opposite, of the illusory truth effect isn't intelligence, it's courage. You don't know how free you really are until telling the truth costs you something. And that's another thing I've learned throughout my life. But only recently have I crystallized, I think, what Out of Line for Greater Well-Being has really been about. It's not about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's not simply just about independence or autonomy. But at its core, it's about fidelity to reality. Faithfulness not to a church, not to a political party, not to a doctrine or ideology, not even to family, but faithfulness to reality itself. And said succinctly, reality is what is. Honesty is how we approach it. Fidelity is remaining aligned with reality, even when it costs us. And well-being, then, is what emerges. None of us, human or AI, is immune from these inherited frameworks and programming. We all inherit stories, political stories, religious stories, family stories, larger societal stories. And the question isn't then whether we've inherited them. The question is what they're producing in our lives. Are they making us more well, more alive? Do they give us greater voice, greater agency, greater freedom? Or are they simply asking us to keep repeating the same old story and patterns because they're familiar, even if they leave us flat and lifeless? Well, I think it's time for new wineskins. Time to clothe our politics in reality, not lies, as will be attempted again tonight when Trump speaks to the nation. Our religion in reality, not supernatural stories and claims. Our families in reality, not paternal or maternal control. The truth will set us free, but fidelity to reality is not without a cost. And I think we all know this. It may cost us our tribe, our church, our family, even the person we thought we were or should be, and maybe especially that. But if our stories, our systems, and our traditions are no longer making us more alive and well, I know reality itself is trying to tell us something.